So for the past 3 talks, now we talk about the hindrances of restlessness of the mind and also the sloth and torpor. These are strong hindrances. These are strong hindrances that it will hinder, it will stop your progress when you are not careful, when you are not mindful. If we do not know what they are, and if we do not know how to overcome them skillfully in a wholesome manner, in the right manner, then these hindrances will come back strongly again and again in every retreat that we go. Because we do not know how to manage them. So if you know how to manage them, these different types of hindrances, different types of way how to overcome them, then what is important here, you develop the confidence. You develop the faith that when all these things comes, when all this faith comes, they will hinder you from all your progress. When you're able to overcome them, and you overcome them rightly, and you can transform them into a meditation objects, and you can see the changes, you can see the development, the arising, the sustaining, the disappearing of it, the arising and passing away, moment after moment of these hindrances, then you find that this meditation becomes very interesting. Confidence arises that whenever these hindrances arises, you can able to deal with it. At least some of the time, or if not most of the time. But these hindrances still remain strong. So, this one we can speak. We can talk about it for many talks, for a number of talks. But tonight, I will bring you to another one. It's a kind of a hindrance also, if you do not know how to take care of it. Now, this involves your wholesome mental states. Some of it are your wholesome mental states. Some of it like your mindfulness, like your concentration, like a precision of your noting. These things, although you need it during in your practice as much as you can, but if you take it up wrongly, they will become a hindrance to your progress. A hindrance to your progress. Now, this comes under what we call the imperfections of insight, or the corruptions of insight. There are 10. Although these talks, every now and then I give to the yogis, but every now and then also, there are yogis also get caught into it. Even you understand it, the talks for tonight, which is easy to understand actually, but it's difficult to do. Easy to understand. But the thing is that these things, it will come again and again to you if you are not careful. Then the 10 imperfections of insight, it affects the yogis, especially from the beginning and towards the middle part of your development, where your concentration and your development of your mind is quite strong. Perhaps you are not the first retreat or second retreat. It may be a third, fourth, fifth retreat that you may be in, where you know how to meditate that time. And yet, this type of phenomena, if you take it up wrongly, it becomes somewhat a hindrance, or somewhat you can go out of the whole vipassana. Yeah. In these 10 corruptions of insight, the first, there are 10, is more like 9 plus 1. Because the first 9, they by themselves, they are not unwholesome. But because of number 10, is the craving, is the delight, nikkanti, a delight towards the first 9, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a hindrance, sort of. It becomes your corrupted insight in the development of vipassana. Don't underestimate these things. All of you and all of us here, one time or another, you will face this thing. One time or another, one way or another. Some of you may face the first one more. Some of you may face the 5th one more. Some of you may face the 3rd one more. So each and every one of us may have a different craving for something. Now, these imperfections of insight, it can become from... When you say imperfections of insight, actually is also equivalent for imperfections of samatha meditation also. Vipassana upakilesa, samatha upakilesa. Both imperfections. Because the craving is inside there. The craving is the problem right now. This is no more like the outside gross type of greed. This is not like you're attached to the food or you're attached to coffee or tea or what, attached to some kind of a gross desire and so on. This is not. This is a very refined type of craving. And it comes to those who are meditate. It doesn't come to those who don't meditate. So you say, might as well don't meditate. Then again, you're wrong. It's not the craving. It's about learning to overcome this craving in the right manner. So these two so the meditator will face this problem. Non-meditators, if you have never meditated before these things, you will not be very clear, because the things I'm going to mention, they are very refined states of mind. Another person who does not attach to all these things is also the enlightened ones. From the Sotapanna onwards to the Arahants, they don't attach to all of this, although they have all of this. They have the first 9, but not the craving. So just generally, we go through the first 9, and we'll see what are the things that we need to understand. Now the first one is aura, or light, or brightness of the mind. Second one is joy, piti. The Pali word is piti, joy, zest, sometimes they translate. The third one is tranquility, calmness. The Pali word is passaddhi. Now the fourth one is bliss, pleasant feelings. Pleasant feelings. The fifth one is resolution. That means this is the confidence, the faith that you have. The sixth one here is the knowledge. Knowledge here means the precision state of the mind. That as much as I mentioned all the time, the precision of noting. This is what we call knowledge or jnana here. The seventh, exertion. Exertion here means the effort. Eight is the continuous mindfulness. All the thing that you really need, really want to develop, if you develop it wrongly, the continuous mindfulness also becomes a source of your hindrance, like a hindrance, or imperfection, Yeah? Number 9, equanimity, the balanced state of mind, equanimity. And number 10 is craving. The first, number 1 to number 9, by themselves, they are not unwholesome. It's because of number 10. So how did they arise in a yogi? The first one is quite easy to understand because a lot of us, we have this aura, brightness, lights, sometimes multiple colors, sometimes single colors, sometimes multiple spots of light. The lights or this aura thing, they will come in one time or another to every yogi. Your job here is not to suppress them. We think that sometimes we do vipassana, we want to suppress this and suppress that. This is not to suppress them. And you do not wish it to come, or also if you do it rightly, you don't wish it to come, you don't wish it to go away also. Your job is to see it as it is. It will fade away on its own. Then you do it rightly. Now if you do it wrongly, if let's say this type of brightness arises in your sitting, clear, pleasant type of brightness, then you may think that this brightness is something wonderful, something nice. After you note your rising, falling, and all the changes of the rising, falling, and so on, then suddenly the brightness arises in the mind. Clear, pleasant. And it becomes like this color, sometimes multiple colors, and then you do not want to see all the rising and falling anymore. And again, here the pain also doesn't feel very painful at this moment of time, because the mind is in a way delighted with all the brightness, all the pleasantness inside there. So you keep on looking for it. You keep on wanting it. And the next sitting, you keep looking for that brightness. And the next sitting, and the next sitting, and the next sitting, and the next sitting, and you will carry on and on and on and on. You ask you what rising and falling you have? Nothing. But when they talk about, but sometimes this type of yogis or this type of people, sometimes they gather around with their friends and so on, they start talking already. I don't see any more of this rising and falling. I see brightness only. Wow, very nice bright lights. And thus for those people who are gong one, doesn't have any much knowledge, then you think, wow, wonderful, superb meditation, best meditation. How come I don't have all these lights on? You'll be hearing a lot of all these type of people talking outside there. And yet, you think that without your knowledge, you can fall into it. You think that, wow, these are wonderful yogis. I must go and follow them. And this is where you begin to get trapped. You begin to in your next sitting, you'll be looking for those lights. All this brightness and all these multiple lights. So, what happening right now is that the mind is already start craving for it. You start already attached towards it. And it crave for it. And it crave for it very nicely. In the beginning part, you do not know that you already crave for it. You do not know that when you look for it, the next sitting and the next sitting, from retreat after retreat, if nobody were to tell you, you will keep looking for it. Not the pain, not the rising and falling, not the changes, not the rising and passing away and so on. Only the brightness. Because when the brightness comes in, everything becomes clear. Not your objects clear, but the mind is very clear. Very open, very peaceful. So you like it. And when you like it there, the craving already starts. When the craving starts, it doesn't stop. Because you want it, and you want it, and you want it again and again. You may sit there for 3 hours or 5 hours of sitting, And outside people look at you, wonderful yogi, best yogi in the world. But inside, what do you have? All lights on you. Because why? Because the whole hour through, sitting is all lights on you. Nothing else. And they thought that you're still doing vipassana meditation. Because why? You're still in a vipassana meditation center. You thought that you're still doing vipassana meditation, but you are already out. But if you were to be taught, and the teacher is able to guide you back, and you are not that stubborn, then okay, Sometimes there are yogis who are quite stubborn. You tell them this is not right, they will still carry on. Not many. Once in a while we meet these type of people, Because in the past, whatever meditation that they have practiced, they thought that all this brightness, you can also bring it into vipassana meditation also. And when it comes into vipassana meditation, they use that bright light after they're sitting, or because of the habit going into the bright lights again and again, they go inside there. And whatever rising and falling they are supposed to note, they can't because of the habit of the mind to go back to the white light or the brightness or the aura in the mind. So the craving comes strongly, and they develop it over time, and the craving becomes stronger. Now, the craving does not stop here, because the next defilement arises with that bright light and also with all the other things also. Is where you begin to think that yourself is some great yogi, some wonderful yogi. Your conceit, your ego, Haolian starts to come in already. Because you think that your meditation is somewhat greater than somebody else. Because here, over the time, I practice already, all the rising, falling already gone already. Now I got white lights and all the brightness already. So when all the brightness comes in, then they look at the brightness right now, and they think that they are much more better than other yogis. All the other yogis doesn't have this light, but I have this light. And in many ways, you will think that you are somebody special. You think that you are somebody great. You think that you can able to sit there for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours because of that light, and you think that you are a much better yogi than these yogis here, 1 hour walk, 1 hour sit. You think you're a much better yogi than the rest of the people. You don't realize that your craving has become stronger, and it comes into conceit, and it becomes the ego. Sometimes in this meditation center, in other meditation centers, I've met with yogis like that. They thought that just because they can sit long, their ego also as big as their it connected with how long they sit now, If they sit little, their ego is that small. They sit more, their ego become big. It's not about you cannot sit long, It's about you be careful of your ego, and you be careful of what is inside there. Now somehow, let's say, you notice the bright lights comes in, and you do not know, and you do not want to fall into the trap of craving. So what do? Simple. Note it. Note it as seeing, brightness. It can be pleasant, it can be nice, but initially note it again and again. If it doesn't disappear, let's say, the brightness is still there, then let it be, come back to the rising and falling, sitting and touching whatever object that is going through. Back to the body again. The body is a much more safer area for vipassana meditation. If you deal with the mind and your mindfulness is not strong and you do not know what is it all about inside there, the craving will just be around the corner. And you are not careful with the craving, automatically you get hooked into it. The way of vipassana, from zero, first day you meditate until your enlightenment. Within all this path of development, there's always objects of change, motion, pain, and so on. The type of what I call dynamic processes. You can notice these objects clearly. Then someone another you are in a vipassana objects. But if you are out of the vipassana path, means that when you pay attention to an object, you don't want to see how it change. You don't want to see what is happening to it. You just kind of like stay with it and that's it. You are not seeing what is really happening to the whole process of change and so on. Now, these lights, if from the craving level, it's easier for you to able to overcome it. It's much easier for you to overcome this type of craving. At the moment when you're aware of it, you overcome it. So it's well and good. You will have this craving. One time or another, the craving will come in and affects you. What is important here is that you acknowledge it. You are aware of the craving arises. Then the craving will disappear because it's not a strong desire yet at this moment of time. But if you just let it go and again you let it go, it becomes stronger and stronger. And when it turns into conceit, you turn into it when you think that you are much more special than other people, that your experiences is somewhat wonderful than others, then it's difficult for it to undo. Yeah? But if you are not careful again, if you are not careful with these lights, for example, and when it becomes like the ego, and if you repeat this again and again and nobody were to tell you, then it becomes another stronger defilement. Another stronger defilement, it will turn into wrong view. Wrong view. Wrong view here, you may think, not you may think anymore, you believe that this is enlightenment. You begin to believe that this is enlightenment, that this is somewhat very deep for me. Other people don't have this experience, but I have this brightness, and it occurs again and again and again and again. What else could it be? In my outside there, I don't see all this brightness, I don't see all these lights, and so I don't see all this peacefulness and so on. But now in this meditation, after some time of meditation, when I get this state of mind, I becomes clear, pleasant, and surely I must be enlightened already by right now. There are many people are out there get caught into this thing. Not only from the way of vipassana, but from the way of samatha also. Because even in the samatha, they take the in-breath, out-breath initially. Then after that, brightness comes in. Then they forget about their in-breath, out-breath, just taking the calmness that arises to it. And then with that calmness, they thought that they are somewhat very deep into their samatha practice, and they believe that this calmness is jhana. It's just a different concept right now, but it's the same craving, same manipulating of the mind. How the mind manipulates it, the defilement manipulates it. Then it turns into wrong view. You believe that you have jhana, but yet you do not have jhana. You believe that you have enlightenment, but actually you're still very, very far away from enlightenment. And we see these things happening in the world. Then not only they believe that they have, but the next thing they will do, they will come out and teach. When they come out and teach, people like gong like that, then you get hooked into it. You get hooked into it. Because it's so easy to get hooked into it because it's pleasant. Who want to see pain? Who want to see all this rising and falling? When there's another meditation center, I'll tell you, you can see the lights and very pleasant. Yeah? Who want to see all this pain? Who want to see all this hardness, softness, warmness, coldness? What is so big deal about it? When somebody else were to teach you, oh, you can see the bright lights. It can be very pleasant. It can be very nice. You jump there. That's why, as I said, many times I said, if in a Vipassana retreat there are not many yogis, 30, 40, not considered many. If you consider to look into samatha practice, they got 100, 200, 300, 10 times more than all the yogis here. This is how, because people love this type of meditation, because lacking of understanding of the Dhamma, lacking of understanding how this craving is actually working. So therefore, these things, to make you understand, from attachment, the craving, from that craving, it turns into conceit as a second defilement. The conceit repeated itself again and again, then later part, the wrong view arises. 3 types of craving. The 3 types of craving here, 3 types of defilements here, then you times by 10. Then it becomes 30. 30 types of imperfections of insight. Okay? 30 types. So how it develops. Yeah? So now at least we understand. Let's not attach to the lights. It will come, but you don't suppress it. Let it come. Just take note of it. Seeing, changing. Light, aura, brightness. Some of you may see once in a while brightness only. Some of you may see more brightness in your practice. So each and every one of us are very different. Nobody is the same. So try to go and compare. How much brightness do you have? How much brightness do I have? And all that. All these things, because each and every one of us, we are very different. Okay? So the next one. The next one is what we call joy, piti. Now, joy on its own is neither wholesome nor unwholesome. But if it's connected with mindfulness, it becomes wholesome. If it's connected with unwholesomeness, like craving, it becomes unwholesome. So, joy is somewhat like this. By itself, it's not wholesome or unwholesome. But it is good to have in the meditation. In your Vipassana meditation, sometimes this joy arises. And it can be very useful for a meditation. Now the joy over here, when it arises, while you are meditating, it's not the strong type of joy that you laugh and happy and all kinds of things, Not that type of joy. But joy in the noting, while you are in the noting, the joy, the passaddhi, piti, the zest that comes in with the noting, it comes in as you are interested in that object, the interest of the object. That means you pay attention to the rising and falling, and then you get the interest there. How? What is it? How come it can longer, shorter, faster, and so on? When the interest is there, the mind stays with it. It sees more things. That type of joy, it becomes a factor of enlightenment because you use it for part of the whole noting system. It's part of the whole noting. So sometimes, for example, you notice the rising and falling a bit dull, nothing much, and then suddenly the pain arises. And then the pain starts to become stronger, changing, and then the whole mind goes there, and the mind interested in the pain, noting the pain stays there. Yeah? Sometimes in the walking also the same thing. You walk. If you begin to pick up some sensation, the mind becomes brightened up. The mind becomes the kind of a zest comes up in the noting. The alertness comes in. It pays more attention to what is happening to the object of the motion. This is somewhat joy. This is somewhat pity when you are paying attention in your object of your meditation. But this joy here, at this stage of joy, when it becomes stronger, it becomes more prominent, then you got to be careful of it. Be careful of it. How does it come in? How does it become more prominent for you to see? Now, one of the common type of joy that comes in together with the meditator is when the body starts to move. Initially, it may move not because of joy. It may move because of the forces because the yogi becomes clear. The forces in the body, as if like it's pushing here, moving here, kind of like pressing, pushing, and then somehow or another, the yogi begins to move according to the forces. I mean, the external body move according to the internal forces. As if like something is pushing, the body is going together with it. It's going together with it. Usually when sometimes these forces move, the external body doesn't move. That means you stay still, but something inside there is moving. If it's happened in this way, well and good. Let it be. Let it be, and you note what is really happening. Fine. Okay? You continue in this way of noting, and you keep noting, and you keep observing what is happening there, how it changes, and so on. But when it becomes to go into the external body, the body starts to move together with it. Initially, you feel that, it's quite strong, it's quite clear, wonderful. But the more you do it, after that you move to song already, After that you move here, the body, all the pain starts to disappear. Here tension gone, here pulling gone, here, because it's like a body therapy or body massage or body exercise. You keep on shaking and shaking and shaking and shaking. Go up, go down, go sideways. You keep moving up, moving up, moving down. After you go forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward. So when you start moving, because that time the physical movement starts getting more vigorous. It's starting to get more vigorous, and it gets more and more. And then this time you're not able to note what is going on. Now it's just enjoying. Key low as a song. How pleasant it is inside there. Up and down, up and down. Then you see that yogi keep on, and then the next sitting come back also ding dong, go up and down. And then if it's not, it becomes even more stronger. Then sometimes the yogi starts to roll on the floor again. Roll more. The more it rolls, the more better. Sometimes I've seen yogis keep rolling from back there, roll on the front here. Because cannot control. The more you pay attention to it, the more it becomes pleasant. The more you want it, the more you like it. And all the objects of rising, falling, sitting, touching, all gone. Nothing. Gone. It's just the rocking sensation and so on. I've seen yogis just, the body didn't rock, but the head rocked only. No. Also can, And I've seen yogis actually bounce up and down in the chair. How could you do it? It beyond logic. But while you are having that joy, you can actually do it, because that yogi was sitting just behind me. And then it bounced from not only hit the spot, he bounced from multiple, bounce around the area, bounce. Then all the yogis will be shocking, to see these type of things happening. And it comes stronger and stronger and stronger if nobody stop it. And sometimes, too bad, other teachers were saying, "Oh, wonderful, that yogi, wonderful, I can bounce, very good. Now, see you like that, gone, finish." These things is no joke. Although you may laugh at it, when you look at it, it's interesting. It makes the life of the meditation more colorful. But for the yogi, it's going to be a long time getting caught inside there. But you see, when it moves in the body, this is easier to see. A teacher easy to see, able to pinpoint, this is the mistake you go through. But the first one, we come with the lights on, sit there 3 hours, how are you going to know? You can't read the mind. I can't read the mind. Other teachers can't read the mind. But because this one, the second, when it comes into the more physical activity, then we can see that we can able to stop it. And also other yogis, when they see it, they will kind of tell the teachers also. Which is also, in a way, it's helpful for the yogi. Also, it doesn't start to disturb the whole place. Because this joy, if they don't control it, they don't watch it carefully, or they don't let it all go, it can really becomes a big disturbance to all the yogis in the meditation center. Because it keep on rolling, keep on moving, and so on. So this is this attachment towards it. Then again, if it's not careful, it becomes conceit. Conceit, you think that you have this movement, this motion, and so on. Other yogis doesn't have all these things. I think I'm a better yogi. So the conceit, the ego arises in us. And also again, there are yogis think that this is somewhat enlightenment. Somewhat pleasant, somewhat joy, and so on. Enlightenment, again. And you can go into that. So here, as long as you feel that the body is shaking, it becomes to start to shaking continuously, then you got to make an intention to stop the body. If it's just 1 or 2 times, it stops. Then that time doesn't matter, That time doesn't matter. Sometimes even because the yogis, when you sit down, you feel that the body as if like it's shaking. But when you open up the eyes, still not moving. But close the eyes back, something is moving inside there. You thought that it might be body. So at this juncture, so if you are not sure, open up the eyes, take a look at the body for a while. Oh, it's not moving. Close back again, not whatever that's moving inside there. If you're able to do like that, good. Do it good. And then in the sense that you are more or less aware of what is really happening. So, if it's moving a few times, not continuously, but just a few times, then it stops, not a problem. Not a problem. But if you keep on continuous, it's going to be a big problem. But the joy doesn't just come in just movement of the body. It can come in with the memory of the past or memory of the future. While you're meditating here, as the days go by, the mindfulness goes stronger, concentration goes clearer, calmer. Then this time, the images of the past or the memory of the past also become very clear to you. As if like you sit there, the whole scenery of the whole show becomes right in front of you. You can able to recall the detail of those memory, all the picture and all the content and all the story. You forget about mindfulness because this time those objects, those images becomes very clear. And with that images, the joy also arises. The joy also arises perhaps because of a past nice memory, pleasant memory, and then the joys become overwhelming. Then sometimes you're overwhelming, they sit down there, you can see that the yogis start laughing, There's more. And then suddenly all the quietness, suddenly laughing come out. So anyway, what is important is that pay attention to the joy. Pay attention to the joy, 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 zest, zest, happy, 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 happy. You got to watch out for it. If you don't watch out for it, again and again, the next sitting and the following sitting, even the walking also, you want that images to come in. Because those images, when it comes in, the memory when it comes in, is full of joy. And then maybe your life, you don't have much joy. Every day have a lot of problems in life. This work cannot, you have problem with your boss, with all your family people and so on, Then this time when you sit down, the joy arises. Don't you think you will get caught into it? It's easy to get caught into it. Because it's nice and pleasant inside there. So be careful, this type of joy. The next one. The next one is tranquility. Now, tranquility here is even more refined. Tranquility here means calmness of the mind. Calmness or peacefulness of the mind. On its own, this tranquility or passaddhi, this is a wholesome mental state on its own. It's a wholesome mental state. Actually, it's part of this is part of the 7 factors of enlightenment. We use this tranquility or passaddhi also. Now, this tranquility, sometimes in the meditator, but usually not in the beginning of practice, but as the mindfulness gets stronger, more continuous, more balanced in the development, then at certain time, the mind becomes very quiet and calm. Tranquility, the characteristic of tranquility means quietness of the mind. As it opposed to the chattering of the mind. The chattering of the mind, y'all know. Y'all know very well. Keep on talking, keep on restless and so on. Those are the restlessness. Then the opposite of restlessness, when it comes and clear, this is what we call tranquility, peacefulness of the mind. That means the mind without the chatter, without the chattering. And what happens in the noting is that sometimes if your mind is balanced and clear, when you pay attention to the object, it becomes like arising, passing away, changing, moving, rising, falling, and yet the mind is quiet, no chattering. In fact, when the tranquility becomes stronger, the labeling process also doesn't come in. It stops the labeling process also, because labeling is a conceptual thinking. It's a conceptual thinking. So even when this tranquility comes in strong, this labeling also cannot arise. All the thing the mind does is that it just note the object. It can see all the changes without all the chattering, commenting, and so on. I think a lot of us need it here. And it's not easy for this one to arise. But nevertheless, this one, once in a while, it becomes strong. And when it becomes strong, it becomes quiet, the whole mind. It becomes peaceful. Because this object becomes more prominent. It becomes strong in a yogi. When it becomes prominent, then it feels good. It feels good to be inside there, calm, no chattering. Because your whole life, whole day through, you have a lot and lots of problems and lots of things. Then when you sit down into meditation, the whole mind calms and clear. Beautiful, nice. That's what you think, So even uninstructed yogi, when this state comes in, you will surely get caught up into it. Because it's so nice and pleasant. And sometimes it feels empty. Nothing inside there. And nothing inside there, isn't it good? All your worries and all your thoughts are actually suspended away from it. And everything just inside there empty. So when it's empty, say you begin in the sitting, you watch your rising, falling, pain and all that thing. And then after an hour or so, the mind goes into that tranquilness and nothing else. And when all this tranquility comes in, peaceful, calm, you can sit quite long. No pain, no tension, No aches and pains here and there, no migraine here, no thinking, everything feels good. Isn't it nice? Just get suspended. Now, this tranquility is nicer than the joy they are shaking one. The shaking one, it becomes gross already right now. This tranquility, it becomes even more pleasant. Even more pleasant right now. So, a lot of times, yogis get caught into it. This is one of the biggest problems for yogis if it's not instructed. When they can sit, let's say they are doing vipassana meditation and they want to do vipassana meditation. So when they sit, they can watch rising, falling, changing and everything in the beginning. They thought that this noting mind can keep going and going and going after 2 hours or 3 hours. Well, I can do that for 1 hour very clearly. I think I still got strength. Never mind, let me keep sitting and let me keep going. And when it goes, after 1.5 hours, it's still clear, but it's slowly the effort, the energy of the mind starts to dim, starts to get lower and lower, but then concentration and calmness is there. It becomes more and more pleasant, rising and falling all gone. So when you sit down there, everything is calm and clear, no pain, no this one, no distraction, mind doesn't chatter. You sit there 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, then you get up. Then you feel good. You feel nice. Then you feel so good that you look at other people, they only sit 1 hour only. I can sit like 5 hours right now. Then what is the next? What do you think this is coming in? Again, the conceit comes in. It's so easy for the conceit to come in. You begin to compare. How many hours you can sit? Then you compare the wrong thing. Right now, the yogi from mindfulness turns into vipassana turns into non-vipassana. It just crave inside there for a long period of time. And again, as I said again, it will repeat itself in the next sitting and the next sitting. Not only the next sitting, you will be looking for it. You'll be, how come it didn't come in yet? When it will come, let's sit a bit longer and see. You'll be wishing for it. You'll be wanting it. You do not want to let it go already at this moment of time. Therefore, this is the craving. And the craving that comes in, it comes in, again, the wrong view. And if you are not careful, you will think or you believe that this is all the enlightenment or all the jhana or whatsoever. Or deep insight, sometimes people think. So they are overestimating their progress. So this is tranquility. Pleasant to have, nice to have, but if you look at it wrongly, it becomes kind of your hindrance, sort of like, Then you'll be out of the whole vipassana practice. So what do you do again here? This tranquility, again when it comes in, you note it. Pleasant, pleasant, pleasant. And because of this tranquility, it's more of a calming side. Your noting has to be a bit more faster. Just like yesterday I talked about the sloth and torpor. Noting it a bit faster. Pleasant, 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 pleasant. If the pleasantness is changing, if it's, let's say it's changing inside there, become less, you can pay attention to it. Then that pleasantness, that tranquility becomes a meditation object. But if it doesn't change, it's just pleasant like that, go back to the body again. Go back to the body. If you cannot find anything in the body, get up and walk. Get up and walk. Break away from that calmness. Don't get attached to it. So as I said, although this is a wholesome mental state, if you are not careful, the craving comes in. So this is craving. Then the next one, bliss. Now this one is even more better than tranquility. Even more nicer than tranquility. Even more deeper than tranquility. This type of bliss is what we call pleasant feelings. As in the Vedana. The 5 aggregates, this is come into Vedana. Tranquility comes under Sankhara, the 4th aggregate. But this one comes, bliss comes 2nd aggregate, the feelings. This one is the pleasant feelings. Now the pleasant feelings here, it is pure pleasant feeling. not corrupted with joy. Joy when you have it. So a lot of times we don't feel these pleasant feelings because our life, everyday life, joy is always on the top. You're happy to see your friends, you're happy to see your food, and you're happy to see all kinds of everything. You get happy. That happiness is more of a joy. But you don't experience the pleasant feelings here. But this time, this practice, that pleasant feelings comes up, the joy disappears. It disappears. So the pleasant feelings becomes prominent object. Now, it becomes prominent. This type of pleasant feelings, you never see it before unless you have been to meditation. It is a very pure state of mind. When you experience it, it's kind of like it will last forever in you. And the memory, it's not going to last forever. It's just a memory. You feel very good. It's a pure state of mind that the mind is free from all the unwholesomeness, free from all the gross type of joy and all kinds of everything. And it's very... How to put into words? You got to feel it for yourself. These pleasant feelings. If a yogi, and this one, sometimes you may feel it, sometimes some yogis don't feel it in their whole practice of their meditation. Some yogis feel it once in a while, some yogis feel it more. But anyway, when it comes in, you got to be really alert. Because sometimes when it comes in, the mind is still clear and pleasant and it's very deep. Very deep, as if like you are there. Sometimes you feel like a cocoon of feelings only. So this is kind of like a very pure feelings. So this one is even deeper than all the calmness that you have. So again here, you got to be really make an effort to be mindful of it. This type of bliss, again, many yogis, many meditators, many monks in the past, and also there will be in the future, in the present also, monks, nuns, practitioners, they get caught into this type of bliss. It's so easy to get caught into this type of bliss. Nowadays, this tranquility, this bliss, they promise you 2 or 3 weeks of meditation, whether samatha or vipassana, you get this type of bliss. You think you don't have to run there. You don't need to go there. And all your problems at least is all suspended. I've seen these things happening. These things I've seen monks who are practicing here. In the past, there are many monks here who do this meditation in this meditation center itself. Unable to understand how this process of going through this vipassana. Then after that, they find that pain here, pain there, cannot meditate. Go and look for something more easier. Look for something more easier, then they look for something peaceful, nice and calm. Many yogis, many monks from here. And also many monks, from, not only from here, but also from other places also. I've met them. But we respect them, whatever. Then they can tell me, oh, you have not seen our way of method. Our way of method are very nice, very peaceful. Not your Mahasi method here and there, rising, falling only. What you get? Rising and falling only. Then I'm going to get you enlightened. Rising, falling only, they'll say. They will say that, oh, my method is very peaceful, very nice, and so on. If somebody were to come and tell you this, a lot of you will jump ship already. Jump ship. So this is no joke, because if you get caught into it, and you get caught for long, that's it for your spiritual life, You want to look for enlightenment, and yet it goes out of the whole path. So this meditation, as you develop this samatha or vipassana, you need guidance from a teacher or instructor. You read from the books or even you hear from the talks. You somewhat, again, you will get caught also. But because you come in different ways, in different forms. the most important, as if you get caught, just tell yourself, be careful, be careful, be careful. Don't get caught, don't get caught. Just be mindful of it. Be mindful, be mindful. Cannot come out to come out to your bodily objects. You come out to the body objects, is so much more safer. Come back to rising, falling, sitting, touching, pain. They are much more safer objects. So this is bliss. The next one. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Resolution. Resolution, what it means here is that the confidence. The confidence here means after you meditate for some time, you know how to walk, you know how to sit, you know how to develop that mindfulness and everything. And your mind able to notice the progress of the insight. You feel good. You feel that you are able to do it. You feel that you are very confident of doing it. Yeah? You know how to come back again and again without people asking you to come back to a retreat. Your mind knows it because you've seen the progress in the development. So this is what we call confidence. Your mind is clear from the doubt. At least for that period of time, it clears from the doubt. So this is called confidence. So the confidence, when it becomes with the effort, it becomes stronger. Therefore, it becomes resolution, a strong kind of determination type. Yeah, your mind is quite, you want to go, you think that you can able to do it, that determination, that type of mentality, yeah. Want to go, that type of mentality. Mentality, that. That type of mental state, one the determined type of mental state. But this determination, sometimes if you are not careful, although it is good because you see the progress in you, how you can able to develop until where you are and your mind is alert. But then when you are meditating, you begin to think about other people, your loved ones sometimes, these people just carry on with their life only, what is there, maybe I should go in there, I could go and tell them, go back there, I want to tell them all the goodness of Vipassana, the Dhamma and everything. You want to shove it down their throat, you're going to put all the Dhamma into them to make them awake, because you see yourself, now, exactly because right now, you are out of the whole meditation. You're more thinking of all the people that your loved ones and all that. Although you think that you want to help them, you want to give them all the understanding and hear, but you're not paying attention to your meditation object. So you are going into out there. Although all these thoughts are good thoughts and so on, because even sometimes you do something well and over here, you get very happy to go back. When you go back, you feel good. You feel good, you want to tell the whole wide world. Also, it's good not to say it's bad, no. But sometimes this attachment to it, it becomes conceit. Again, you think that you are having all this faith, you all should come and listen to me. Me only. And you should not listen to other people because I've seen all the progress. You must come and listen to me. And then ego arises. When the ego arises, this is the next due to the confidence it arises. This type of resolution, it may comes in from another form. Another form, perhaps that because you are having a lot of faith. A person sometimes will have a lot of faith, and you may not see it in every yogi. Those yogis have a lot of faith. The tendency is sometimes, when they meditate, they see the Buddha flying. They see the Buddha, the image of the Buddha. Or they see a pagoda. Or they see a monk. Or they respect. Or they see a nun. Oh, very nice. And then while they're meditating there, they can see all these type of things. Absolutely, very clearly. As if I said, when you close your eyes, you open your eyes, they all look the same. They all look the same because it's so bright, so clear at this moment of time. Now, because you thought that you see the Buddha, or you see the Sangha, or see any of these things, then you may begin to believe that you are somewhat great yogi. Because this Buddha doesn't come to other yogis. It comes to me only. So I must be somewhat good now, somewhat great. Because this type of things I took it out from books, I read books and so on. I see what people are written inside there. And they thought that because the Buddha come to see them, or the Dhamma come to see them, or the Arahants come to see them, they thought that they're already enlightened. They thought that they're already there. They thought that they are already, all their defilements are already gone. Now the Buddha is inviting him to join the club, to feel good. Yeah? So you come out from the meditation, it looks different. A trip. Yeah? Now, I've met also in the past, not I've met, I've heard now, this one that I heard, that sometimes, there's one time the teacher, the meditation teacher, because the meditation teacher told the yogi, it's a monk, you are already third stage of enlightenment already, or all your practice are third stage already. So the monk also feel good, I see, walking also like that already. Kind of like very soft, very gentle, and then turning, slowly turning like that. Yes, and come back. Walking like that. On the trip already, kind of. Then some time through after that, thinking that still third stage of sainthood already, third stage of enlightenment. And one day, this monk become berserk, crazy. Then the teacher said, "Oh no, not enlightened anymore." Like that, you are the teacher is kind of like playing with people's spiritual progress. People come for meditation. People want to develop. Then you can tell people that this is enlightenment, this is not enlightenment, as the teacher like. Wow, jalan, huh? Anyway, I feel so sorry for these type of things. Yeah, so be careful. All these stages can be a problem. Don't get attached to them. They are just a process for you to take note of it. So if this stage of mind, when a lot of all these faithful type of object, you see pagodas, you see monks, you see objects of relics or whatsoever that it comes into your mind, because you are more of a faith type of person, then you got to note. And note. Don't interpret it. Don't go and comment onto it. It's just another object of your meditation. Yeah. Now when it comes to this knowledge, the sixth one, the seventh one, the eighth one, the ninth one. Now let's just lump it a bit through to understand how is it like. The knowledge here is the precision part of the noting. That means when you notice, for example, you notice the steps, you can able to feel, okay, this is hardness here, softness here, warmness here. Or you can feel, this is arising, this is sustaining, this is going up, this is disappearing, this is keep on arising, or this is arising and passing away. Your mind is penetrative, thorough in the noting. And this is wonderful. This is what we call the knowledge here at this moment of time. Yeah? Then, also, the seventh one is called the exertion. Exertion here means that your meditation at this moment of time, the effort is very stabilized. You don't feel sleepy. You don't feel lazy. You don't have a moment of drowsiness in the sitting. Your whole meditation becomes very alert. You can sit 1 hour, walk 1 hour, sit 1 hour, walk from morning until night. No drowsiness, no laziness. You feel good in the meditation. And then the eighth one is the continuous mindfulness. The continuous mindfulness here, it means that any object that's given to you, any object arises, whether it's just brushing or doing your laundry, your mind is there, very alert, very open, very, very flexible. Eating time, you can chewing, biting, alert, clear. It doesn't go into distraction and all that. When you come into sitting down, rising, falling, the whole hour, you are alert, clear, and so on. Walking time also doesn't have much of a distraction. Continuous mindfulness is there. And this is a wonderful time to practice, actually. Yeah? A lot of times we always have a lot of gaps, a lot of breaks, a lot of hindrances coming in every now and then. But this time, no. This time the mind can go very smoothly, clearly, very flexible, very precisely, and also the body is relaxed. And the ninth one, everything is in a state of equanimous. That means it doesn't go too much into effort, doesn't go too much into to concentration. Other words, here your whole meditation is just going well oiled, very easy, and this time, a yogi just need to keep going and going and going and going on it. The progress will come in very smoothly. But you just have to be careful. This, and sometimes actually you all get caught into it also, whether you realize it or not. You also get caught once in a while. Everything is getting smooth, nice. After that, it kind of like disappear away. And then you keep wishing for it. Ayo, how come they didn't come back that one? Oh, very good run this morning for 2 or 3 hours. Everything very smooth, very clear, very wonderful. Then you keep looking for it. How come it doesn't come in? When you're wishing for it, of course, these are all minor craving, but it's still a craving. It's still a craving there. Yeah. Now, when you are clear, alert, and mindful, and sharp, and so on, when you walk and sit also, because there's no sloth and torpor, your body don't bend. When you walk very steady. Yeah? So when you sit down, everything very clear, rising, falling very clear. Then you open up the eyes. If those people could see me, how I sit, how wonderful I can able to meditate. Then you close back the eyes and you watch again. What is that? What is that? Conceit already there. Conceit already there. Just although you have a good run, although you have a nice, able to note what is going on. Because these things, at one time people come to report to me, they can able to do the walking meditation, very nice, lifting, pushing, dropping, no like shaking here, unbalance here and there, everything very nice, Again, here the yogis come. If the other yogis could see me how I walk, how exactly I could have teach them, the lifting here, the pushing there, and the dropping here. Oh, must do it in that particular way, You get caught already, You see what I mean? You get caught, you get proud of your own development. You get attached to your own development right now. And then sometimes, because you can see rising, falling very clearly, right? Or sometimes you go back and you sit down on your coffee, 3 or 4 yogis, friends together, and then start comparing, my rising, falling like that. Your rising is just like that. Mine got pain, no pain. Everything very clearly. He feel proud of himself. He feel good about himself. Yeah. So next time when you finish your retreat, you go back, you just keep this one to yourself, your experience to yourself. If you want to guide people, you want to help people, help in a general manner. Don't tell them all the little minor, all the experiences that you have. Yeah. Each and every one of us will experience differently. You teach them how to walk, how to sit. Well and good. But not teach. You must see like that. If you don't see like that, you are wrong. Then see like that, Then you are so attached to your own experience. You are attached to your own. Although you are doing well, but you forget that you begin to attach to the craving is already there. So much so, in the past that I've heard of yogis, because they have been meditating a number of retreats, they thought that they are quite a good meditator, and they thought of good meditator. So when they mix with other non-meditator, they look down on them. They call it bo jason, they call it. Not meditate, and they cannot. They told me that if this group of people cannot sit with other meditators, if other people come and sit with them, they just get up and walk away. You see the ego? You see how strong the ego? They thought that you are a wonderful meditator, great meditator. My teacher is so and so. Might as well say your teacher is the Buddha. And then they get caught up with this teacher or that teacher, this nun or that monk, and this practice or this progress, and they thought that they have a very deep insight and they cannot even go and talk to other people. My teacher is only this, other teacher is no good. So you extend your own practice into other teachers also, your own ego into other teachers also. So you're going to miss out a lot of things in life. Because if the teacher were to pass away or gone, then you find yourself, you become very, very lost. So you be careful about all this, even in your progress also. Don't get too conceited. Don't think that just because that we come for one retreat here, just because that we go for 1 day retreat there, just because that we come for Friday night, Monday night, or whatever night that you are coming in, we feel that we are greater than those in the kitchen there. For example, or those who are not meditating, or whatever it is. Don't think that just because we are here doing some activity and all that thing, we become arrogant. We become conceited. That conceit will be a downfall for yourself if you are not careful with it. Sometimes this type of conceit, others when they tell you there's a conceit there, you're not going to listen because it's already I am good. The I is so strong. You may not think that you're arahant yet, You know that you're still a long way to go, but you think that you're good. You think that you are 20 years meditating already. You think you are 30 years meditating. You think that I'm meditating more than these people all over here. They must kowtow to me. So be careful. Whatever wholesomeness that you have, not just only in this meditation development, but your dana, your sila, anything wholesome, although it's wholesome, if you're not careful, you begin to compare. Once you begin to compare with others, the conceit arises. You think that you give more dana than other people. You think you can able to give better than other people. You think you can able to do more than other people. So be careful. Wholesomeness, you just be aware of it. Just keep doing. Don't get too conceited about it. So, here, understanding this in your own practice, as we keep going into this practice, as we keep going into walking in this path of the Dhamma, let us keep it going and don't get attached to them. Because when you get attached to them, in sooner or later they also disappear. They are not permanent. This tranquility, this joy, this aura, everything, they are not permanent. They are not permanent. They will just carry on. So as for a yogi, when this type of stage coming in, when this type of smoothness of your practice coming in, just keep noting. Just keep noting. They will disappear. But what is important that you have the skills to bring them back again. And the skills here, if I've been teaching over the time again and again, is to bring these skills back so that your mind can be continuous. So when it's continuous, it's clear that you can able to overcome a lot of problem, but then you got to be careful of the conceit and the craving and the wrong view that are going to come into practice. So hopefully in the future, you will able to keep it going and going without this craving, conceit, and wrong view. Okay? So we stop here for tonight. Now tomorrow, Saturday, on tomorrow Saturday, I'll do a question and answer. We'll do a question and answer, but this time the question and answer is from yogis only. The devotees sit and listen for now. For now. On a Saturday, what I'll do is that I'll put a box here on this table. Some papers also, pen. If you have any questions on the practice, on the Dhamma, or on the Dhamma talks, or on your this one, if you're not sure, you want to know what to have, go back, what you're supposed to do, and so on, you can put these questions here. So, because there are 30 yogis, it's impossible we can able to answer if everybody were to ask even a single question. So usually there's not many people will ask questions. Sometimes 6 or 7 or 8 people, usually they will ask questions. But allow that you can have 1 or 2 questions, 1 or 2 question marks only. Not just one question, you got several question marks. So one question, 1 or 2 questions only. Then I'll try to collate it. So I'll collect it at around after lunch one time. Okay. Then I'll collect it around 5-6 o'clock again in the evening. Say about when you go for your this one, I'll collect it again, and go for your break in the afternoon, in the evening. Then I'll collect again. So I'll prepare. I'll look into the questions, and I'll read. I'll prepare the questions, and then tomorrow night I'll read the questions, and also I'll give my opinion and my answers for it. Okay. So this part is on the yogis part. On Sunday. Now on Sunday, we have at 5 o'clock, we have a sort of like a closing. So I give a short talk also during that time, and also some question and answer for everybody, including the devotees also, who are non-yogis. So we open up for them on Sunday at 5 o'clock. Okay? So that's all for now. We share merits.